Out of Shasti Dalek, and at the Smita Pratishthan award ceremony, when Smita Pratishthan awarded him one of the highest awards, he gave a speech in Spasht Shasti Konkani. And I said, wow, someone can actually give a speech in Shasti Konkani, and I was inspired. There are very few I have heard speak that way. I think Dr. Francis Kulas is another who speaks very beautiful Shasti Konkani. At the end of that function, as he's kind of Man Friday, I would tag along with him. So he said, "Amko sheet kori ditle murite." He must have been hungry and all that. Of course, the hosts gave him an excellent fish curry. And he also loved a kopini of feni, but I think that day there was no feni. So, very often we would go and lunch, and he would love to have a glass of nice feni. It was a joy to debate with Dr. Jose Ferreira. We would talk about Schopenhauer and Nietzsche and St. Thomas Aquinas and Suarez. Mrs. Kuto spoke about, I think Mrs. Kuto spoke about Suarez. He was one of his favorite theologians. I didn't really know much about that, but I had read the book of The Story of Philosophy by Will Durant, so, I would pop in my few opinions here and there. And it was a joy to debate with him because you didn't have to be afraid. He never overawed you with his knowledge. I one fine day finally said, "Doctor, all these religions are rubbish. Mankind does what it does, which is judged as good or evil, purely on the basis of their need for survival. If they need to survive, they will coexist. If they have to survive and they'll kill someone, they'll kill someone. Where is religion, God got to do with all that?" And so I said, all religions are nonsense. And he turned around to me, after patiently listening to me, this great professor of theology of Fordham University in New York. He tells me, "See, now this is your worldview, this is your religion." So he was explaining that by my saying this, I was evolving my own philosophy, which is my religion. So in that sense, he just deflated my argument that all religions are rubbish. It was really brilliant. He had a great sense of humor. Once we went to the St. Augustine's ruins, the tower of St. Augustine, and we walked around there. That was one of our favorite occupations. When we took a break from the Pathorda mural, we would just go to Old Goa and walk and walk and walk, like to a monk and his acolyte, his disciple. We would be moving around. And finally we came out, we sat in the car, and suddenly I spotted one, laborer, some migrant laborer, urinating on the side of the wall of the ruins. I got a bit furious. I opened the car door, I went and yelled at him, and I shouted at him, "Tum Bhagwan ke mandir mein pishab karta hai?" I was quite anguished, And when I come back, he's got this broad smile on his face, and he says, "Oh, what did you say? Please say that again." "Bhagwan ke mandir mein pishab karta hai." He had a hearty laugh, and we both kept laughing. I don't know. He found it very amusing the way it was said. Dr. Jose Ferreira passionately wanted to paint. He always considered himself a painter and an artist at heart. And he would often tell me of the several times that he tried to paint a mural somewhere or the other, and somehow his efforts came to naught. In various houses, on the walls of a chapel at a cemetery in Juhu, which was eventually demolished or wiped out. He also struggled to get permission to paint murals and frescoes on the walls of our own chapels. He wanted to paint a mural on the nave, on the wall of the nave of the St. Joaquin Chapel. But he had to be content with the sacristy, and that's where we see his masterpiece today in the true fresco technique. When he finally got the permission to paint a fresco on the wall of the nave of a chapel, it was too late. He was in his late 70s, he was suffering from Parkinson's, and he could not complete the entire fresco in the true Italian fresco, wet fresco method. He painted only the face of Christ with those angry eyes. When I asked him why his eyes were so angry, he said, because of Christ is angry because of what we have done to his creation. Because the fresco has got all these animals and birds and flora and fauna around it. His cup was already full. I mean, you have written 24 books, you have published 100, 200, 300 papers. What more do you want? But here in his late 70s, suffering from Parkinson's and various other illnesses, here is a man lying on his back on a scaffold in the Saint Rosary, the Chapel of Rosary at Fatorda, painting a fresco. And I was amazed. He would take tablets just before his session of painting so that his hand, which was shaking, would stop shaking. And he had a short period of around 1 hour, 1.5 to 2 hours, and his hand would not shake. And that was the time when he used to paint the fresco of Christ. Finally, he gave up because he couldn't carry on anymore, and he really couldn't do it. And we finally had to finish it in acrylic. So it's a art fresco. The face of Christ is by Jose Pereira in the wet fresco technique. And the rest of it is an acrylic mural completed by 2 art students. But it still is a tribute and a monument to the efforts that he continued to do even at that age. He would tell me, I intend to live till 90. I have a lot of work to do. He also spoke of the Epiphany of the Gods, which exhibition took place in 2010 when I was out of the country. I sometimes wonder, and I used to ask him, what is it that drives you so much? How do you manage to do so much of work all through your life and even now when you're ill? And he would quote Pascal, and I will just quote that line. Blaise Pascal was a French theologian. Do small things as if they were great, because of the majesty of Christ who does them in you and lives on in our lives. And do great things as though they were small and easy, because of His almighty power. And that really says it. When we would sit in the chapel, sometimes on a break from all that, there was a school behind, so there were children playing around, and I would ask him something. Then once I recorded a little bit of what he spoke. We were talking about the archaic Konkani, the original Konkani which was there before it changed. It became a bit Bardezi, Shashti and various other dialects. And he said, we were talking about prayers. So I said, I wonder how Amcha Bappa was said in that time, how Hail Mary, Naman Mare, how Satnatanta Kwarane, Hail Holy Queen was said. And he said, I can recite it, and he began reciting. I said, hold on. I had my primitive cell phone, and I just recorded it. And I found the file in my hard drive today morning, so I would just like to play that. Just the quality of the recording is not good. There is a school around, there are children squealing, there's some hammering going on somewhere else, and Dr. Jose Pereira saying the Hail Mary. Thank you.
As a conclusion, we would like to thank all our guest speakers for their reflection and sharing their personal memories of Dr. Jose Pereira and for their valuable time this evening. We would also like to thank one and all for attending this evening's tribute. Surely, there are many in our audience who have also known Dr. Jose Pereira personally and would like to share their memories. However, as we are short on time, we are unable to accommodate any more sharing. We welcome you to informally share your memories with one another after the program has concluded. We also have on display some of Dr. Jose Pereira's artworks at the back of the hall, and we welcome you all to go around and see them. As a conclusion to our evening, I would like to invite Father Loyola Pereira once again to sing a song.
Frescoes that we are talking. If you go to the chapel down, you will see it is in a mutilated form. There is a cathedral class where I don't know what is happening, but most of the frescoes are destroyed. I would implore Father Loyola to have a look at which chapel? The chapel in Porta. Where he has done his frescoes.
Destroyed? Whitewashed?
No, it's not whitewashed, but it is almost destroyed at a lower level because children go there and I don't know, they have some classes, so most of the frescoes are spoiled. It needs restoration, so if you can do something, you can do.
I think we'll go down and
No, I'm actually not going to give a song here. Just before I came, I could leave Panjim. Father Savio gave me a call and said, can we have a hymn at the end? A hymn of praise to God. I said, why? Yeah, to conclude the whole thing. Can you lead us in a hymn? I said, I prefer to sing something which would be much closer to the heart of Giuseppe Rera. And it will be a mandor, not a hymn. A mandor that all of us, not me, but all of us together, those who know, would sing in his honor. And also to signify what we are here about. We are here not only to celebrate this man, but also in a certain way to say goodbye to him. His body is still lying in state. He will be buried on Saturday. So let us sing Adios Curzo Verupam. Could I ask you to stand? Because this is a kind of an anthem.